Hello, today I'm here at the first Chesapeake Championship with Team 26073 BeaverBots. They've had a great season so far, winning 2 of their qualifying events and performing well at the first Chesapeake Championship. Today they're here with the innovative robot with a very effective shooter with code that auto aims the artifacts, allowing them to score extremely quickly. Let's find out more about this robot on this Behind the Bot.
This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. Take on the DECODE season with Robotics, featuring their FTC starter bot, new 6mm hex shaft and motor options, and updated bevel gears. FTC teams can receive a 25% discount and apply for grants at studica.com/robots. FRCTs has been trusted by over 250 first teams to save on custom shirts and team apparel. Founded by First alumni and offering a free 14-day turnaround with faster options available, you can save time and money for your team when you get a free quote by scanning the QR code or going to frcts.com.
So could you explain a bit about how your chassis works?
For sure. So in the beginning of the season, we wanted to go with an extremely modular design to experiment with different drivetrains. So we decided to package 2 435 motors into a single pod. Because of this, we can our robot's very modular. So with just 2 screws on this one side, our whole pod can pop out. And it's the same thing on the other side. Last year, we tried to build our V2 robot without it being super modular, and it took many hours to repair parts internally in the robot.
Now going on to the intake. So this year we chose a really simple design as a horizontal intake because first, it can easily be powered by one motor, and second, it has a lot of surface contact, which allows the driver to really easily pick up all the artifacts. So in the beginning, in the first stage, we have vector wheels that pivot with a 3D printed center. And what this does is it easily guides the artifacts to the center of the robot, and it also allows for a really good compression. It allows for the just right compression because this thing pivots, and that allows for a really fast intake as well. Additionally, we have a pulley reduction from our main motor. It's a 29:14 tooth ratio, which allows our intake to go up to 1,400 RPM. Now going on to the second stage of the intake, we use surgical tubing because it allows for maximal contact and it actually doesn't have as much compression. So if there's 2 or 3 balls in the robot, that doesn't slow down the intake as much as would silicone cast compliant wheels do. And lastly, going on to the transfer stage over here, I'm not sure if you guys can see it. Yeah. So there's this separate motor over here that's powered by bevel gears, and it powers this this silicone cast wheel that actually acts as a stopper and a transfer. So what it does is when you don't want to shoot the ball, so when there's 2 or 3 balls and you don't want to shoot the ball, that's the silicone cast wheel actually spins downwards, preventing the ball from going onto the shooter. And once we have 3 balls and we're ready to shoot, we spin it the opposite way so that it feeds directly into the shooter.
So how have you changed your intake over time to achieve your goals this game?
Oh yeah, so in the beginning of the year, so all of our intake stages were actually powered. They all had silicone cast compliant wheels, just like as the one you see in the transfer. So one issue we had with that was that we had too much compression on all the stages, and that actually slowed our intake down really a lot. And because of that, we had to keep a 312 RPM motor instead of a 1,000 RPM motor. So going on to the second iteration, we changed the silicone cast wheels by rubber band intake, and we thought that this would actually increase the intake speed because it actually doesn't have as much compression and it easily molds onto the ball's shape. But then we realized that the rubber bands were really inconsistent, and they're really inconsistent because the rubber bands actually snap during the game, and that was really bad for us. So then we switched to vector wheels with 3D printed center, which actually pivot, so we don't have as much compression.
We wanted to make a simple shooter this year that was really easy to optimize, and that's why we chose a simple adjustable hood shooter. And so what it does in simple is it has a hood in the back, and we can change the angle of how much it is. The higher angle, the easier it is to shoot from the far side. And so wherever we are, we can change the angle and we can shoot anywhere really easily. We use we use 2 motors for this to help with recovery time, as well as 6 of them compression. And so our recovery time is really fast. We can shoot everything in less than a second, along with the transfer system helping speed up the balls too. We also added things like wheels as well, because that increases the inertia, moment inertia. And we also had rubber friction wheels on this side because the flywheel should be high in friction and the hood should be low in friction, which is why we had copper tape here.
Okay, so what kind of software have you used to make your robot work more efficiently?
Yeah, so for teleup, we have auto aiming and like auto adjustment for the hood and the flywheel speed. So for like 10 places on the field, we got the distance of how far away the robot was, and then we tuned it, especially like mitigate the effects of bounce out and all that. And then between all those points, we like draw a line and then interpolate based on that line, both the hood and the shooter separately. So we can shoot almost anywhere from the field consistently. And then for the auto, we actually designed our own pathing library, and that allowed us to get 15 artifacts and open the gate twice.
You got more
That's great. Do you use any sort of vision to help you?
Yeah, so for localization, we noticed, especially during teleup, that even though we have pinpoint, you can't really see it. It would drift a little bit, especially during like heavy defense. So we use a Kalman filter to like continuously correct the vision, or continuously correct the odometry with vision if it can see naval tech.
Thank you. Tell us a bit more about how your auto shooter works, and what kind of inputs does it use to try to align itself with the goal?
So we take where the robot is, and then we get the angle to the goal. So we literally point our robot to look at the goal, and then because we also know the position of the robot with respect to the goal, we take the distance and put it through that function that we defined earlier for the hood and the flywheel RPM, and that's how we get the settings and position.
Thank you to Team 26073 BeaverBots for showing us your robot, and good luck on the rest of your event and the rest of your season. This has been Chris from Fun FTC signing off. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. FRCTs has been trusted by over 250 first teams to save on custom shirts and team apparel. Founded by First alumni and offering a free 14-day turnaround with faster options available, you can save time and money for your team when you get a free quote by scanning the QR code or going to frcts.com. Take on the DECODE season with Studica Robotics, featuring their FTC starter bot, new 6mm hex shaft and motor options, and updated bevel gears. FTC teams can receive a 25% discount and apply for grants at studica.com/robots.